then we're mixing between Tomahawk West and Joseph Gale.
Yeah. It's usually bad.
Yeah, it's coming this weekend's first try on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just looked up.
Yeah,
Start practicing and start playing.
exactly. A couple weeks and you're off.
Yeah, that's true. Jen, thanks for sending the reminder email because I had it in my calendar at 6 o'clock. So I'm very happy to see that.
I'm glad you didn't look at the top, the gray line that said the 14th.
No.
I saw that. Yeah, and I was like, wait a
like,
mined.
Nobody said
No.
anything about that. That was. But
I was
the-
waiting.
The main part, it said the right thing.
It did. Yeah.
Good.
I was like,
Okay.
my schedule can't be wrong.
Yeah, you're
I
like,
accepted this.
you're like, I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I accepted
That
it.
would be Saturday.
All right, I'm gonna call the Citizen Bond Oversight Committee meeting to order at 5:33 PM. And do we need to do introductions? Hi, everybody. We're all here still. Is that fine?
I think really just introducing Cam, so.
Yeah, Cam here, superintendent for this project for Five Star Builders.
Great.
Glad to be here.
Nice to meet you, Cam. Thanks for joining us. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the September 11th, 2024 meeting minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Eileen, you're up.
Emil is gonna take the program schedule?
Yeah.
Or John?
I'll go for it. Okay, so just a quick overview of the schedule, because we're gonna get into it a little more detail with each update we give. But, you know, in general, walking through the projects, Cornelius, if you've been by there, steel's going up. We started exterior wall framing today, so a lot going on there. The Tom McCall East Track, basically these field projects, you know, pretty
We're all
much
done.
wrapped up.
We'll go see this one today.
Yeah, Neil Armstrong walking today. Dilly, we wrapped up our seismic work last summer with Five Star Builders, and we are now in design on the pre-K edition. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. At the high school, we are in the finals kind of phase of work there for the CTE early childhood edition. We also completed the nursery remodel inside the school, and then there's a few other projects we have for next summer that we'll talk about. At Echo Shaw, we are close to going to bid.
Bid documents go out next week.
And that's
Bid days in
for
January.
kind of a little bit of seismic, some siding,
Big siding project.
pre-K renovations.
Pre-K we threw in there,
Yeah.
right at the end. We'll talk about it more.
And again, we're just going
Yeah, we're going
quick.
quick.
This is the cliff notes. Harvey Clark, we have a big project planned for really the next 2 summers. We have also hired Five Star there. That's a CMGC project, so they're on board early to help us through the design. We'll be going to bid soon on that one. That's a big seismic upgrade inside the school, in the gym, and then also a pre-K addition off the back. And I guess you should say a building addition off the back. The pre-K is actually going to be, I think, inside the school. Playgrounds, we're going to get into that. Not just at Gales Creek, but other playgrounds too. And we got some handouts. We do have a number of like visuals and handouts for you that we'll get into. The pre-K, I think, touched on all of them. Oh, except for Fern Hill. There will be a 4 classroom edition that we have there as well. So we'll touch on that. And then security is kind of ongoing with our security trio, access control, cameras and intrusion. DAS and cell, I think, is pretty much done. And perimeter security, we've already done a number of fence projects. We still have some more that we'll be doing that we'll touch on, and same thing with fire alarms. Maintenance, Mark Hughes, I'm sure you all know, he's been working on roofs. His team's been working on HVAC. We'll continue to do that, next summer as well. And then there's just other deferred maintenance that we're gonna touch on a little bit. So that's a quick look at the schedule.
And the next page is just kind of a brief summary of the major bond commitments. So these are the commitments that were in all of the campaign materials to make sure that we are checking off each one of the boxes. So we have the completed, the ones in progress, and then the ones that were still coming up. So this is just kind of our last overview to make sure that we're hitting every one of those bond commitments.
Cornelius?
It's not changing anything.
If you're still sharing on the Zoom, you can keep going, and I'll work on these.
No.
One,
There you go.
there we go. Of the quarterly financial report, this is all of the projects combined. It has the budget for each one, and then it has, that is really delayed, I'm sorry. It has what we spent fiscal year 22 or 23, 24, how we're doing this year, and then budget. But really the highlights of this, all of this detail is out of the $144 million in resources, we have $92.1 million expended and or committed. So we have active purchase orders out there for those. That leaves us with $52 million left. We look at the total resources, our original bond was the $121 million. We have our $10.8 million premium, the Awesome Grant, and then so far we've already received $4.9 million in interest and or rebates for projects. So we're doing pretty good on the total resources, trying to maximize every bit that we can. As far as expenditures, if we expend everything that we have encumbered to date, the one part on our bond requirements is that we spend 95% of our resources within 3 years of receipt. 85. When I look at the first bond that we have sold, because we split the 121 million into two bonds, so the first 90 million plus the premium and the interest, we have 87% of it committed already. So we are well on our way of meeting that requirement.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
Well done, Eileen.
Go team.
So that's kind of the large overview of where we're at. Bond levy rate,
It's the delay from Zoom to YouTube, so give it a second.
that's okay. I don't have this in a printout, so I wanted to make sure that I go over it. Because property taxes did just come through. So in our commitment to our community, when we went out for the bond, we had said that our bond tax rate would be about $1.50 over our 22 tax rate. That would mean through the bond campaign, we were estimating the tax rate to be at $3.67 per thousand assessed value. The actual levy rate last year was $3.43, and the actual levy rate this year is $3.52, almost 53 cents. So we're still just under 15 cents less than what we had projected through the campaign. So that's what we're really trying to track, is to make sure that every year we're staying underneath that. The one challenge is these are estimated rates, because we give the county a total dollar amount to assess. And so then they look at the total assessed value in that community and then figure out what that rate is. So we're not saying here's the rate to do. We're saying here's the amount we need to pay our debt for the year. So it's an estimate every year. And so it's going to go up a little bit or go down a little bit, but hopefully our goal is to make sure it stays as consistent as possible. So it did change by 9 cents per thousand of assessed value. So I just wanted to make sure that I wrap back around with that this year. Any questions on that? Okay. Gives me a moment to breathe. The next slide in your, it'll come up there. The next report in your packet, this is just a summary of the changes. It's all of the budget adjustments that we've done to date from the original budget that we went out to the community for. The two changes that we did since the last time we met is bond contingency. And I think I brought this up the last time about how we were gonna need additional funds for, I'm not sure if I did or not. For pre-K and making sure that we are expanding our capacity district-wide to be able to support a pre-K classroom. So we are transitioning and moving 5 million from our reserves, and that's mostly the interest and or the bond premium, to be able to expand our capacity district-wide to support one classroom or more of pre-K in each elementary building. And so when we get into some of those buildings, we'll talk a little bit more about what our plan is for each elementary to be able to accommodate that. The other adjustment that we did is at the end of all of our roofing projects, the only one we have left is Harvey Clark. And since we have 5-star on for a CMGC project, we are incorporating the roof project as part of the seismic and other improvements. So we're moving the remaining roofing budget to the Harvey Clark project so that it can be done as one major project. So that's the budget changes that we've made. Any questions? Okay. So now, Cornelius.
Okay, Cornelius, like I mentioned, we are well into steel erection, which is exciting. About the building is an H, and then there's a north wing, south wing, kind of middle connector. So yeah, that's a pretty current photo, and you can see the north wing is erected. We've got metal decking on it. We've poured the second floor of the northeast wing concrete, and we got steel being erected in that southwest wing. And then the gym you can see is closest to us. Those beautiful glulam beams have been set. And so we're just moving along nicely, and a lot of underground work happened that you can't really see, but the electrical room is kind of closest to us. There's all those conduits coming up right into there. That's kind of the maintenance area, electrical room. And so, and off to our,
where those four cones are in the gravel, that's just trench after trench after trench.
Oh, yeah.
Conduits
conduits.
underneath the ground. There's a lot of electrical work going on. That,
Yeah,
so a lot of work that you just don't see anymore.
Kind of nice to have the visual. This will be a courtyard. And then over here, you can't really see it, but that's another courtyard. This will be kind of our pre-K courtyard. And each of these will have like security fencing. So they won't really be accessible, but they're open from the building and secure. And so we have the pre-K and kinder classrooms over there, so they'll be able to go right to a play area there and a little turf kind of area. And then this is more of a kind of a hardscape, courtyard play area. The gym, the covered play will be down here with a large amount of kind of asphalt covered play. We have our playground, and then our swing kind of area, and then the field, turf field here. The other thing we're working on is we are looking to do field lighting there and working on that process. We're in early, we have to go through a land use process with the city on that. So, fingers crossed all goes well, but we have a preliminary design from Musco for those lights, and we're going to be working on that. We are going to have a neighborhood meeting. We'd love to have some pro field lighting advocates there.
I'm totally there for that. Is that an add-on for us, the lights?
The lights, yeah.
Yeah, we weren't planning on doing that, right? Would we be paying for that ourselves, or are we gonna try to talk to the city about trying to partner with maybe, I don't know, do they do, they're through PGE. They don't do that,
Yeah,
like-
PGE.
Yeah, they're in PGE.
Mhm.
That is out of construction savings,
Good job, guys.
so.
That's great.
Yeah.
That'd be great for the community to have lighted fields there.
Mhm.
It'll be amazing. And
Sean needs your support at the meeting.
I was wondering that.
Yeah,
Why-
we
why
will-
why do you think that that's gonna be?
well, there just may be some non-support, so anytime we can get,
Yeah, you should have sent us out an email with that.
we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, we're probably still a month and a half out on that, but we will keep you posted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we would love to have support there. And then we have another we're also doing that in NAMS too.
The lights here too?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
So-
good. That'd be good.
There'll
Yeah.
there'll probably be 2 meetings in that process that we'd love people to attend. So there'll be a neighborhood meeting that's informational before the actual land use hearing. The hearing is actually more critical. That's where you'll stand in front of the board and say you sign in and be in favor of.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys want to go into more details now, but there was some pushback on the height of the lights, right?
Oh.
So
Yeah, there's been initial questions just on the height of the light pollution, and just concerns for how it's gonna impact the city central in Cornelius. So we just wanna make sure that we have more voices at the table.
But
Yeah.
we know we're using the top lighting company around. They do pretty much all the fields here. They have all the data that shows they'll minimize, keep light pollution on the, off the property line and all that. So,
With the new lights, the pollution's minimal with, in
It is.
Spain, they have them everywhere, so.
yeah,
It's just like,
it's gotten a lot better.
yeah,
The shields and the
right.
LED lights and,
But
So-
if you don't know, I can have some coaches come, some of my coaches, so.
the more the merrier,
yeah.
really.
Mhm.
It'll be good to have a lot of people signing in on the pro side. It helps the board see that there's a lot of community support for it.
Yeah.
So they're more likely then to say yes, at least in that first hearing.
Most people only tend to complain,
Yeah.
the pro people, when they show up at these meetings.
Yeah.
It makes a big impact on the
Yeah.
board, so.
Yeah, one of my teams is like, I think 3/4 of the guys are from there, so.
Hmm.
And they're
Okay.
older, so.
Yeah.
They range from like 15 to 25, so.
Because the only people who get notified are the people who have adjacent properties.
Right.
And those are the people who most likely are going to be like, no, we don't want giant bright lights shining in our
Right.
houses, not understanding that the light pollution, right?
Right.
So having an equal number amount of community members come to speak in favor of it, of how important it is to the community, and we go.
And we'll have our lighting rep too there to talk to the details.
Yeah, and they
about it.
just don't know, right? You wouldn't know that the light pollution isn't gonna be that bad until
Yeah.
now.
Well,
You
yeah.
just hear these big lights and you probably think, oh my God, it's gonna be shining in my house, in my backyard. And
Right. Well, they also think of the high school and those like old school lights.
Right.
Lights.
Right.
So,
Okay.
So John kind of stole my thunder, but we're finished with the field here. We're gonna take you guys out and see it. It turned out beautiful. In fact, there's a picture of it right there.
So it's all
It'd look
even now.
Better.
It's all
All
even
even?
now. It's very nice.
Lights.
But we are also planning to put lights around this field. Although I don't seem to be getting as much pushback from this community
There's
potentially,
no
but
neighborhood right by there.
Oh,
yeah, there is right over here.
Kind of.
Yeah,
So-
the mobile home park.
but again,
Can they even
support,
see?
it's a completely separate land use
They all play
process.
soccer.
So, I would like to say that please come to my meeting too.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
This
Just
is
send us
City of
the,
Forest Grove
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of City of Cornelius.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
That before and after is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So are these lights on all night long?
And we shine them right at the neighbors.
No.
There's
No.
always a curfew. It's usually.
We just make sure
10.
they're right in the windows, like we line them up. No.
They'll be off, they usually have to be off by 10
Yeah.
or something like.
And they'll only be
By 10.
on if there's a scheduled event.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or people, you rent the tractor, you rent the field
Yeah.
for practice, and
Right.
be on probably
Well,
from 5 to 10 or.
The technology of the LEDs and they're very directional now.
Yeah, they
just
are.
don't light up the neighborhood anymore.
Yeah.
They just do their
Yeah.
business and then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually pretty dark in the perimeter around it
Mhm.
with the new LEDs. And then they go on like this and they go off like that.
So cool.
That's good, that's good. Eileen just left, but I was gonna ask, is there any information going back to Cornelius, whether the city's gonna buy the front of the building of the Cornelius School, or is that still on a
That's,
hold?
well, that's what we're working towards. We are in a process to put a property line that divides that. So as soon as we finish the demo of the building, because you can't apparently create a new property line with the building going right over it. So when we demo the building in June, as soon as school's out,
Uh-huh.
we'll go finish that. We're
Okay.
talking about the property line of Cornelius and then we will record that new property line. And then I think the goal is to maybe work with the city, on that sale by potentially the end of 25.
Yeah, I think our current agreement with the city is we're hoping to close by December of 25.
So are they gonna buy it? Maybe?
So far, that is what we're working with.
I know they said they would like us to donate it, but, we said no.
Yeah.
Why is that?
You want lights? It's a big
I
one.
was like, are you gonna pay for the lights
Yeah.
and electricity?
That's a lot of lights.
We do have an agreement with the city of Cornelius right now for that property, but it's still another year away, so.
Okay.
um,
Well, it's
we'll
a
see how that
real
goes.
win-win for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they do that, yeah.
That'd be smart.
It just, they have to come up with the money, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
So-
So plans for seating on this field?
That's a good question.
Like
No.
around it?
Because like most of the.
Oh, seating.
Yeah,
I
like
thought you said-
middle.
I thought you were looking at all the dead grass and
Yeah.
said seating.
Yeah.
That's what I thought so too. I was like, hydro seeding? Yeah.
No, the middle school that I've been to.
Yeah.
For attending like turf fields, they typically will have some sort of, even if it's adjustable or, bleacher sets that come in or roll.
Movable.
Yeah. Is there
That's a
any
good
plans on
idea,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, we were wondering that.
Is on the bond needs list.
Mhm.
Just the turf, the lights, those are, and the gym floor is all already additions.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of trying to prioritize the rest of the bond needs and the
Mhm.
rest of the district and where we're at and what, so it's not this year, it is on the list. But we're ultimately, at this point, we're kind of at a hold, we need to finish the other bond projects first.
Yeah, because like if you've gone at the middle school games.
Yeah.
So if you go to a school, there normally is a place to sit.
Yeah, visitors.
So then when people come to our school, they don't have a chair and there is no place to sit and everybody's just standing there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
It'd be tough on like a football game because you have the whole team spread out in front of you.
yeah,
So you're trying to look through them
yeah.
onto the field.
That's always tough.
You do middle school football?
Yeah.
People show up?
Yeah, a lot
Wow.
of parents.
Different from mine. Nobody used to show up. Because they're like 3:00, on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
But little guys, yeah, I mean, like tons of people, and then they all have to stand there and get see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
we were
a good
thinking
point.
about that the other day. I mean, there is so much area. The thing is, it's gotta be opposite side of where you would want the teams to be.
But are the teams on each side?
Yeah,
One team on one side and one team on the other side?
yeah.
And you don't want it on the track?
Well, not in soccer, but in football, yeah.
Right.
In soccer, they're
They play football
on
on
both
this?
sides.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah?
yeah. That's what they were, they practice football.
Yeah.
They do a lot of practicing.
Okay.
But yeah,
Next year
now
they'll
it's
be fun
straightened
games.
out. Yeah, they're gonna love it. So, and the goals are really cool too, the European style. They take up very little room and they won't kill any football players.
We'll have to check those out. when we go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something we'll keep in mind.
We always
Think
learn
about
something
that
new.
season.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a really good idea. But yeah, finding funds for it would be a good idea too.
Yeah.
Hey, I just talked to Rick from PAR, so maybe they'll do something. You do wood bleachers?
I think a portable metal bleacher would be a lot more resilient.
Yeah,
Um,
and cost two
yeah.
times more.
Well, and I mean, it's movable.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on what
That would be the
activity
same.
you have going on at the time.
Yeah, at least a small one, like a small set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one at my house. I could donate a small set, but it's real small. It's like 3.
Oh, there you go.
My sister
Just
found it.
me
It's like
doing-
tennis, and so she's like, "Here, I brought a bleacher set for your fans."
Oh, that's cool. That's actually really cool.
The hecklers is more like it though.
The heck, yeah, the peanut gallery, right?
Yeah.
So just to kind of segue athletics into, and we'll have Cam talk about these improvements, and it was just mentioned, we also, from savings and construction, are replacing the gymnasium floor. So it'll have a new floor in the gym. It's actually outside of Five Star's contract. We contracted through Robbins on like a state purchasing
Yeah.
kind of contract. Cooperative, yeah. So that'll be going in next summer. It'll still be a rubberized flooring. We do not have the depth to put in a wood floor. So
Is Branson doing that floor?
Branson's doing that floor, that is correct.
Who's doing the floor at Gales Creek? Jim,
Branch floor,
Same,
same?
same company.
and same flooring.
I think that's what everybody uses.
So Cam, you wanna walk them through what we did last summer
Sure.
now and then plans for next summer?
Yeah, you bet. I mean, it was a big change in the school, of course, this summer, with the redoing of the whole entrance into the school there with the additional vestibule, secure vestibule, of course, moving the whole admin area there to make it upfront, visible, more acceptable to people coming and going and parents and kids and administration wise. We demoed some classrooms there to facilitate the new construction of like we're sitting in now in the conference room and all the new offices, and then the old admin area. We demolished that, of course, and then turned it into 3 good-sized classrooms there. So really changed the whole look of the school and livability, really, as far as all of the staff. Everybody's up front there and knowing what's going on, and people are coming straight into the office type environment, so that really helped. It was a good design plan there. All the floors, of course, they were all old tile. They all had asbestos, adhesive underneath. So we stripped the entire hallways, areas. Most of it we polished, as you can see, and as you walk around the new classrooms, we have some epoxy flooring in those, so that kind of see how that wears, over the next year or two as we're continuing with construction, and whether they want to continue with that or not. But floors turned out kind of better than expected, really, considering the age of the concrete. There's a lot of repairs and stuff that are in there that you'll see that were done previously that are cleaned up and polished. But all in all, turned out really good. And I'm sure maintenance loves it, not having to do all of the polishing, and waxing of the floors that they had done every year. As far as outside, we did a lot of outside work that you don't see, of course, because of the seismic upgrades. We pretty much excavated around from the backside of the cafeteria all the way around to the E-wing. And then in the back courtyard, we completed that area here after this summer. So a lot of the seismic work on the exterior has been done. There's quite a bit more to do on the interior this coming summer. We did one of the classroom areas so we could see how that went and what was going to be needed for planning purposes for next summer. So we know what to expect there. So then, of course, along with the exterior seismic work that we've done, you'll see new landscaping and such in the front of the building and all along the north side there to the E-wing. It kind of minimized the maintenance and sizing of the plants and everything, and give it a good new clean look without a whole lot of expense for the amount of area. Then, of course, you see the covered play there at the bottom right-hand side. Yeah, so
Getting well used.
yeah, it gets used every day, especially I noticed, in the rain, colder weather, the kids are out underneath there a lot. So, we added an additional basketball hoop there after this summer. It's all striped and kids are out there playing every day. So
Cause that's another gym
nice
space.
lighting too.
It is, it's an exterior PE space.
Yeah, so coming in and out of the gym good there. Seems to be working good, and I think in the wintertime, it's going to be an area to get some energy burn off during class and lunchtimes. So lunchtimes, the 2 lunch periods, all the kids are out there, running around and having a good time. So we continue to do work since the summer on the exterior and the seismic improvements. So we worked around to the south side of the gymnasium there. Completed a big section of that, paved some of it yesterday. We'll continue working around that so we
You
can
got the
be,
paving done? All of it?
we paved that section, yeah. Except that we ran out of about 2 tons that wouldn't mix anymore for us, but
I was concerned with the cold, the batch.
at the end because it, yeah, they haven't opened.
It's hard to
much.
get asphalt this
The
time.
plants, yeah, the
That's what I was
plants
gonna
are,
say, it's either.
the
it
plants
has
are
to be
tough
right
and
now.
they'll just
And they
say,
don't have a big, it's not like it's a big amount here.
yeah,
So like
right.
your ODOT, you're paving like a highway.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
run it, but
They'll say,
Sam's got a piggyback off of somebody else probably who.
yeah,
needs some.
yeah, we do. So we have another, we'll be doing a little bit more next week there just to finish up that little section, but then we're gonna start excavation, along the music rooms there, that exterior section here in a week or so. There, weather permitting and such, to continue that. So the plan is to get most all of the exterior, improvements completed, other than maybe that whole gate area, the new secure gate. They're gonna have an entrance there by the boiler rooms. That may not be done during the winter time. We'll see how quickly everything goes there, but that's a change that everybody's working through there. So coming up this next summer, also at Christmas time, what you'll see too, that before the end of the year, we have some new signage going up in the front of the building. The new Neil Armstrong Middle School sign that'll be attached to the front of the
If you look
building.
at that, where the front entry is, right above there in the gray metal,
Mhm.
we're gonna have Neil Armstrong going across. It should look really cool.
Yeah.
It took a little bit of planning time to get the letters ordered and coming, so.
Yeah.
We had a dream of a goal of having it up before the opening in the summer, but
Yeah.
we could not get it here in time.
So that's gonna be done during the Christmas break there, plus there'll be a new reader board sign out front and flagpole lighting and such. We put a new flagpole in, but so the lighting and such, hopefully the lights are all in by then, so we can get those in too during that time. Also during Christmas break, we'll be taking down some portions of the hallway ceilings and removing and installing some new HVAC ductwork, there. So we'll be here other than Christmas Day and New Year's Day. We'll be working inside the building there, try to get that piece accomplished. So we don't have quite so much interruption on the inside of the building during this coming summer, because we have a lot of structural shear walls to put in the building that go along with the seismic upgrades to, stiffen up the building. And so,
Should be a light,
Yes.
easy summer.
yeah, sure.
Not a lot of, not too complicated. It'll be easier to make that deadline.
It'll be easier than last summer, right, than this summer. Anyway.
We have like 10 shear walls to build, so like, have you ever been in this building? We have a map of it somewhere, but anyways, it's all weird shapes. And some of the walls we've got to completely remove, cut out, and he's got to pour new footings, build the walls up to structure, so. There's still a long way to go, but so far it looks great.
Yeah, it's been a good project, because I think the design work it's nice to do a project where you feel when you're completed that, hey, look, this was really a huge improvement, not that you ended up lacking, and it just didn't quite flow right, but to see how everything flows in the building, and I gotta, compliment the staff here. I love your staff. They're great. I worked at a lot of schools, and just to watch how they all work together and how they help control the masses,
Kind of like to your
class
point,
changes and everything. They're amazing.
you said it felt bigger. Like we didn't make the building any bigger,
No,
but
yeah.
the little bit, we touched 6,000 feet
Mhm.
and it feels almost like a new building. We got a lot of comments about how it felt different and new coming into the building the way we, set it up. So moving the office to the front is big.
Wow,
The safety improvement alone is
Yeah. It's huge.
colossal. So,
I used to work here, and yeah, it's a lot better.
all right, we should keep things moving. John Dilly.
Yes, so at Dilly, we wrapped up our main project last summer, and that was mainly seismic upgrades like Emil was talking about. Most of those were around the perimeter of the school, so we got mostly all new siding there, which they needed. And so we have like cement board siding now. We had an opportunity to repair any dry rot or anything that had happened. And you can see fresh paint. We totally changed the paint colors out there. So it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks great in there. It really
Yeah,
does.
big change.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
love the picnic tables outside. That's
Oh,
great.
yeah. Yeah, we had safety lunch there.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, a couple other improvements to the kitchen. I think Mark coordinated, some new kitchen equipment in there. The roof was recoated, so it's got another like 30 years on it.
30-year coating, yeah.
Wow, wow.
And let's see, just going around, mainly, we did have some interior shear walls, and because of that, we upgraded wainscoting down the hallways. And then in the gym, there was a couple shear walls in there. Again, that's just to stiffen up and make it seismic, kind of ready for earthquake. So we did that in the gym as well and fresh painted that. So what we have planned for Dilly for next summer is an addition off the backside of the building for, I think it's a standard classroom, and the pre-K would be actually inside the building. So we're planning that, and we'll be bidding that out in the spring. And then we also are working on a new reader board out front. So,
And then,
and then we repaved
yeah, repaving.
the backside parking lot,
Oh, that's good.
recoated the bus.
The playground
Lane.
area.
Yeah, playground is,
I'll talk about it.
we'll hit that. I don't want to steal your thunder. So I won't touch that one.
The
And-
one thing in this one, or are you gonna go over it? Sorry.
No, that's the cooling.
No, that too.
That's,
The whole building now has air conditioning, so that's great.
awesome.
And then we'll finish that this next summer with the new DOAS system for the fresh air intake. But,
I leaned out a standing ovation from the staff when she
well, they were all.
mentioned that.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's rough.
But I was gonna say about the wainscot.
Oh,
So the wainscot that we put into Dilly, this is one of our learnings as we went through the construction this last summer, and we're gonna take this learning to the other two buildings that we're gonna be doing new wainscot on, is the product that we put in here, it didn't apply very well, it didn't adhese. So we've got bubbles in it. So we've been working with 5 Star over the last couple of months on different products and different options. So we're actually gonna take this wainscot off and put on a new resilient board, and have it painted. So it'll just be a different product on the bottom half, but that'll happen, I think, over Christmas break. So that's the one thing that's left outstanding at Dilly. So we're not fully closed out on this project yet because we're gonna change that wainscot, but we're also gonna use the same product that we move to if it works, it will.
When it works.
It's in the
Yeah.
hallway here now.
It's in the hallway here, so it's the
The
same
new
product that we
wainscot.
have
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah, it's-
So you're not able to do anything with the stuff we already bought?
No,
I think we're gonna
it's
go over
just-
the top of it.
we're gonna go over the top.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
With
just
the-
not as resilient as we need
MDF.
it to be.
On the board.
It's not taking the wear and tear of every day.
What about pavement out front? Was that in the budget? No,
Mm-mm.
because that really gets pretty muddy during the winter. I mean,
The staff parking lot out
yeah,
there.
out front, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, that's too bad.
So that is our live and learn, with Dilly, but we'll fix it. And it's not
Yeah.
gonna be too much to the budget. We have available funds left in this budget.
Good.
But we know now for the other buildings.
Kind of nice, we started with, this is the smallest
Yeah.
Yeah.
school.
Yeah,
And so we're taking a lot of these lessons learned to like Cornelius. We're gonna do a mock-up on all the wainscoting and
And here you were gonna do it, I mean. So that's
Yeah.
pretty big. So at least you started there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're
So,
applying a lot of those lessons learned moving forward.
Is that true also like with the security? You're starting with Gales Creek with the security? Is it the security or is it the fire alarm that's going
the
on?
new security trio, so the new Genetech system, we started at Gales Creek. One, it needed a system upgrade really bad, but it was a small one that we could do a test on over spring break because it was a small enough time period.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives us the ability to have those learnings.
What's going on now? What are they doing now? Is that for the fire? Fire,
They're doing a new fire panel at Gales Creek right now.
it seems to be going really slow. Is the-
Well, they can only do it after hours. They
Oh.
can't do it during the school day. The fire panel out there, I think they just started it though.
They've been at it for a couple months, or at least a good month.
No, they.
There's somebody out there.
They did the cell
the
and
DAS.
desk
Cause I
upgrade.
just did the invoice for the DAS.
Yeah, so
We've
they-
had a number of different
I think it's,
kind of low voltage contractors
Yeah,
doing
so
different scopes.
I think it's been back to back. So we did security first, we've
Oh,
done
okay.
DAS, we're doing
Okay.
fire alarm.
Okay,
Cause we're doing that at a lot of the different buildings. It's
Yeah.
different companies entirely.
okay.
different
Because
stuff.
Yeah, we did a cell upgrade.
Oh, okay,
believe
is
because
what it
when
was,
I'm
right?
there on Thursday night, there's these guys up in the room, up in the ceilings and they,
Yeah.
they've been at it and they look really tired at 9 o'clock at night.
I bet they are.
We fed them, we gave them cookies.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh.
Last time of the night.
A little sugar
That's
rush.
chilly.
Yeah, there you go.
Forest Grove High School CTE.
So CTE, I kind of mentioned it earlier, we completed a remodel of a class from 1404 last summer to a nursery. The YMCA is running a nursery program in there. And what you're seeing here is the one classroom addition plus kind of new vestibule entry that we're building.
This was our last meeting. You weren't there because you were,
Oh yeah, the meeting was here, so you
Yeah.
know this one well.
they saw
Um,
all of this.
So maybe the
That's
new
very cool.
things, just today we poured the concrete coming out of the science wing to the delivery area. So I think by
Have we
sometime,
started betting on the tricycle races? Where I showed them the track.
I know, dude.
Uh,
I'm
I want to
in it.
start betting on the
that
kids.
was a new picture. So yeah, you can see it formed up. We're gonna
Yeah.
pour that concrete. And inside of that kidney bean is our turf area.
Let me know
for
when the
kids.
kickoff races. I want to come.
We'll put you
Bet
on
on
one
some,
of
bet
those
on some
tracks.
ponies. Oh, I'm one of the racers? Don't bet on me. That's a lock. You bet against me.
Big fella down.
I'm the little
Sounds
crank,
like
you
your legs are
imagine?
pretty long for a little trike.
So those were taken today, so you can see Mark in there with the safety gear, well done.
Yeah, represent.
And so, yeah, all the bright colors that kind of tie into there's actually quite a bit of yellow in like the science wing. So plus it just brightens up that space where you're gonna have high school kids and younger kids as well, where they're this is the childhood CTE kind of pathway. So it's really coming along. Contractor's doing a great job, and we're going to be pretty much done by the end of December. So
Okay,
yeah,
I mean,
and I think the plan is
your new project there.
yeah. So the new project is really a little bit more deferred maintenance type of work. We are working on, I think, most all the doors around the high school to upgrade them. And hardware, doors and hardware. There's some flooring and floor abatement that we're gonna take an opportunity to turn it into polished concrete. Again, so Mark doesn't have so much to wax. And then another thing we're looking at is some of the locker rooms and PE locker rooms.
Restroom.
And yeah, restroom, partition upgrades, privacy stalls, and there's just a lot of showers that aren't used. So we're gonna look at making some of those private showers and some of them changing areas because we have,
any bathrooms, any additional singular bathrooms or no?
well, I think we will have more of just, the newer style of partition where they're a little lower to the floor, so it's a little more of a private
I
style.
don't know if you've ever popped into Forest Grove City Library, but they took their bathrooms. I cannot believe how they took the area and there was only like 2 stalls and then they made them singular and there's like, I think, 3 or, have you seen the bathrooms in the?
No, the new ones on the,
Oh, they're phenomenal
But
and they're
what was it
like
now?
4 and I think there's either 6 or 8. But I couldn't believe what they did with that small space and how they did a
In
really
the
nice
City Hall in
job.
Portland?
Well, this is Forest Grove City Library.
Oh,
The design was just, when I think of our transgender kids and, kids that, have issues that, I just thought it was just, I was just really impressed. If you get a chance, pop in and look at
Yeah.
it. It's really good.
Cornelius will have more of that style where we're doing the new
Uh-huh.
construction. And we're not really doing plumbing at the high school, but, for the budget, we're basically upgrading the partitions and,
Mhm. Okay.
but I think the changing stalls and the individual showers will be huge because they said the kids just don't use them because they're just old school,
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
they haven't in a long time.
Yeah.
we didn't use them when I went to school.
Anything else high school?
Nope.
Echo Shaw, I think we talked probably about this a lot last time, so, the scope is basically a large, re-siding, with seismic upgrades, so the whole building will look very brand new, and then we're going through the interior, refreshing all the hallways, kind of similar again to Dilly. So that's really the big part of the project, and then, an addition there, I would say with like a savings, although we're gonna do it as an alternate, is adding parking lot lighting. It's a rather dark parking lot. There's only like
Yeah.
2 existing poles, maybe in like
Yeah.
the staff area.
Yeah,
But like for anyone else coming, there's no lighting. So we have a plan, but like I said, it wasn't part of the original scope or in the bond. So we're doing it as an alternate. And if we have a good bid day, or Eileen just kicks us some money, we'll be able to put them in. Otherwise, it goes out to bid next week. This is going to be a hard bid job. We have a list of pre-qualified bidders. The bid process will go until January. We have to do a little bit of land use for the lights. That's going to hold up getting a permit, but everything should be on track for starting in June. And this should just be a straight 10-week wonder. All the work will be completed next summer.
Full exterior siding
Yep.
and windows,
Oh, windows. Yeah, we're replacing all the windows.
Oh, really?
except for the front of the cafeteria.
There's some existing storefront at the cafeteria that don't need to be changed. Thank you, Eileen, for bringing up the windows. That was the bond. So the bond said replace the siding and the windows. In fact, it only had cherry picked some of the windows that were starting to like fog out,
Mhm.
but all the windows were from the same era. So it made no sense to leave behind windows that you'd need to replace in probably just a couple of years.
So Cam, this is one that you can bid
Yeah.
on, maybe sharpen your pencil.
Echo Shaw.
Yeah.
It's down the way.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna ask Eileen a question, so
Yeah,
finish.
no. I'm
So I see on a couple of, the seismic grant was not granted.
Mm.
How come? Do we know why?
Yes, so currently the Oregon Business Management Office, what are they, OMD? Well, anyways, the people who grant the grants have decided that they would solely go after unreinforced masonry buildings currently for schools. So if your project didn't have unreinforced masonry, you're pretty much not getting a grant. They only had, was it 100 million? I think there was $100 million of grant money that they were giving out over the biennium. They awarded $55 million last year, and it was exclusively to unreinforced masonry projects. We applied for 3 grants and got turned down on all 3. However, because our engineer and I, I don't steal
Yeah,
his
go ahead.
thunder.
Give me back.
So when we looked it over and saw that Harvey Clark's gym is actually unreinforced masonry. If you went through what they awarded last year in May, it'd be like this school gymnasium project, highlighting where they had unreinforced masonry. So we're going to reapply at Harvey Clark highlighting that part of the project. And I think we're gonna be, I mean, knock on wood, but it's gonna give us a much better chance to be successful
Okay.
and get some grant money, which will really help out your overall bond because we're already fully funded there.
Mhm.
That's just gonna be extra money then to say, buy parking lot lights at Echo Shaw.
Well,
And that's not odd that you didn't get it. I know I was out in Newburgh, you know, in the school district, they didn't get it out there either.
Well, it's
Seismic upgrade money.
It's,
It's
A lot
kind
of
of a
applicants
new
now
thing that
came
they
on,
only
but-
are giving it to, this unreinforced masonry. Like, I thought Neil Armstrong, even the engineer we worked with, Nick Kennedy, we both thought Neil Armstrong would have been a lock because back in the old days, my old days, they awarded it based on, you can almost say like merit. So if a school district only had one middle school, and if this building were to go like be, say, damaged so greatly in a quake that you couldn't use it, it would be so detrimental financially to the district. That was weighed in on your scoring,
Right.
and they've completely abandoned that. So now they just simply go, is it unreinforced masonry? And then they give the money there.
Right.
But Neil Armstrong should have been a very strong candidate to get a grant, and we didn't get it.
so they changed the rules on applying now?
Sort of, they kind of make up the rules.
They added
so,
it in.
Can you challenge that?
No.
Anybody challenge it? No.
You just have to learn from it and write your
Right,
Yeah.
so,
thing a little bit.
Yeah.
With a little bit more detail or saying, hey, it's just for this specific area.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
fits
so
your
we're,
criteria.
instead of going in with 3, we're gonna go in with Harvey Clark, and schedule wise, we kind of, knew we would have the opportunity to go back after some, once we found out. So that's, we're gonna be submitting that here by the end of the month for the Harvey Clark project, so.
We should have had them out here when we were excavating around so they could see the existing conditions,
Right.
right?
You're like, can we
Yeah,
submit
yeah,
some
Right,
pictures?
yeah, just like, hey, look, this needs,
Well,
you
yeah,
you need to
I
pay
mean,
for this.
building, before his work, were tilt panels that were just gravity loaded onto 2 separate footings that wasn't even continuous. So this building, I mean, it was more or less
Just
like a
like
house of
dominoes.
cards.
The whole thing.
Well, it's
So-
a very bad
Much safer
design
now.
for area.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Wait till we walk around.
I wonder who put this together.
All right, Echo Shaw, Harvey Clark.
Okay, Harvey Clark, so
We got 6 minutes.
a lot going on at Harvey Clark, for the next couple summers. Like I said, we have 5-star builders on as our CMGC contractor, and so there's a plan. The colored area is the new 2 classroom addition off of kind of the library area. And there's a modular there. You can see that arrow. We need to kind of move that back about 50 feet or so, and to make way for that addition. So that allows us to then have pre-K within the school, and so that in the rest of the school, basically all these lines you're seeing are shear wall upgrades, these kind of bold lines. So almost every classroom, we will be opening up the walls, doing plywood, shear wall upgrades, and also down the hallways. So it's a nice opportunity to do all of our technology upgrades that need to happen at the same time with new whiteboards and projectors. We can hide things that are mounted on the wall and put them in the wall. So, and we are also doing a fire sprinkler upgrade here. Right now, this portion of the building has fire sprinklers. The rest of the building does not, but they did size the fire riser, luckily, to serve it. So 5-star has had fire sprinkler sub out. So to look at that, we will be putting fire sprinklers, and that allows us to enclose all these
I
exterior
was wondering
doors.
if we're gonna do that.
So it's a huge security upgrade to do that. I know those probably get used maybe by teachers, but it's definitely one of the security
It's a safety issue,
recommendations is
yeah.
to not be able to come in and out of
Yeah.
every classroom. So, but in order to do that, we needed to have the fire sprinklers. So it kind of all worked out great. The gym, this is your unreinforced masonry portion of the building.
So really, we're just going after this for the grant, but it is still $1.5 to $2 million. We're working on the estimate, but I think it's gonna be about 1.5 or a little more million. So really hoping we get that, but what we're doing in here is, we're doing the structural foam system, which is kind of we haven't done it a lot, but it's, we're gonna build a new wall inside of this and reinforce the entire thing. We're gonna also reinforce the dome roof from underneath with plywood, add insulation, and we're gonna get a new kind of gym ceiling out of the deal with some acoustical treatment. We do have a show and tell board there. We don't know yet if that's gonna be our acoustical treatment, but yeah, where Mark is pointing, that's one option.
Cool.
That was, yeah.
Kind of a honeycomb treatment of acoustical there, but I don't think that one's totally accepted yet. But
No.
basically, what you can see is we're gonna have more color added in the hallways. We're going to get new wainscot, and wall protection, new tack boards. I think we added the ceilings too.
I think so.
Yeah, so it's really gonna look like completely new hallways and
Are there bleachers in there?
No.
no
No,
bleachers. And we're taking 6 inches away
I know,
from
I
each
think-
side.
I was like, there's
So,
barely room for a chair.
Yeah,
We will
yeah, there's not, you don't do much.
do a little bit of flooring as part of our project, but, and then, Eileen will get another standing ovation because we're doing,
Air
air
conditioning?
conditioning there.
Well, if you're gonna take away their access to open their door, then you gotta give them some AC.
Yeah, exactly, so.
Are we air conditioning all our buildings?
When we are done with the bond, almost all, if not all, classroom spaces
classroom
will
spaces,
be
yes.
air conditioned.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean all spaces, but classrooms
Oh, that's great.
will be air conditioned.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
global warming, we really need it for the kids. Yeah,
So,
great.
I'll pass these around. It's just, I didn't have extra copies, but if you guys want to see the scope between Harvey Clark and Echo Shot, the red is the walls that need the structural upgrades. The blue is the hallway improvements, and then the dotted lines around is the roofing. So you guys can actually see a kind of a real view of what all that scope is for
Yeah,
those
we're
two
upgrading
buildings.
the restrooms too, I didn't mention that, but they,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
restrooms,
pretty major upgrades there.
Harvey Clark.
They're gonna get a pretty good makeover, gonna be a big difference for the kids.
Yeah.
And the staff.
Pre-K,
Actually, we're playgrounds.
Playground.
are we?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, no,
Playgrounds.
I'll go quick. So besides some stumbling off the get-go with our playgrounds and our plan to do much better in the future with both our
I'm
installers.
hearing you.
and the-
I think she's ignoring you, actually.
No, I was
Looked like
reading
that
it.
at first. I was like, oh my, I'm in the doghouse on this one. We do have some plans. So currently we have finished, Gales Creek. Well, or that's a picture in process, but it's
It's not
getting,
complete.
I was like,
it's,
Telling you, it's not completed.
well, we're scheduled
Neil,
to
I
be
think you
done
have a
this month.
superintendent
No, no,
over
no,
there.
So we're very close. Just so you're aware, so one of our debacles, I'll just admit this now since you're gonna figure it out, is when the parts were delivered and we had to put them into storage, they all got mixed together. So like John's Cornelius
oh,
came,
no.
and then my district office one came, but they delivered it to Gales Creek, so it went in the barn. And then the Gales Creek one came, but they delivered it to the district office, so we took it over to Taylor's Way. It went with the Cornelius stuff. Then we had to move the stuff from Cornelius or Taylor's Way to make room, so it all went to a warehouse that Pence had. And in the process, buried in that warehouse are the swings, the chains and the seats for the swings, and one of the slides for that
Well,
playground
that
area.
explains why Joyce kept saying, well, they're delivering things and then they're taking things away.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
going on?
It was a real,
It was
It was
like
a
all the
real
puzzles
mess.
got put into one box.
the swearing at the job site was the least of my concerns in
Oh,
at the first. And I only found out about the swearing today. So trust me, I've been swearing, not at the job site, but definitely about this whole thing happening. So we have ordered replacement swings. They're on their way. from Justin.
Okay.
And we have a plan for just, they found a temporary barricade from another one that they can install so that they can open it without the slide. So that's coming all,
Until
Hopefully
we
here.
can find the slide.
no, we know where it is, but until we can dig it out of Denise's warehouse. So anyways, so just so everyone's aware, so there's gonna be some work in progress there, but for the most part, that playground is coming together. Now, I have here, just to keep things moving, I'll pass a couple this way. So if you, in the corner in the writing, you can just barely see which school it is. But this is going to be at Tom McCall. It's the Oaks Grove Academy at Tom McCall. That's what that's gonna look like. And then this one is the new playground at Echo Shaw. And those two are Dilly and then Harvey Clark. And so these are all gonna be our, say, new district standard of matching what we did at Cornelius with using rubber tile instead of the play chips. So
Oh.
these needed civil engineering work for the foundations and everything.
Pickleball courts?
So if you see that black surface, yes, and so,
So
Yeah, Tom McCall.
that
Yeah.
picture is a little misleading because he drew in that everything was gonna be painted, the lines are gonna be painted, it's not gonna be filled in green.
Yeah.
But the lines and structural will be
There
there,
will be
so
pickleball line.
it'll be
Because then
pickleball
Oak Grove
lines.
can use that, they'll love that.
Oak
Yeah.
Grove can use it as pickleball, they
I'll
can
love
use
that
it
too.
as basketball, they can
Well,
use it.
Yeah, you might.
That'll be clear. the Oak Grove at Tom McCall.
Oh, Tom McCall.
Okay, yeah.
I got
Just
it.
wanna make
I saw
sure
the
we're
Tom McCall thing. Now I know.
So I'll get these.
And so, and the other cool thing, because I don't want to talk too long, so at Harvey Clark, because they already have such a vast amount of play equipment, and we were making that an ADA-friendly, accessible area, that is all ADA accessible playground
Nice.
equipment. So the whole purpose of that design is for kids who have disabilities to be able to also then have equipment to play.
Right.
So not to say that everything isn't considered accessible when it comes to these play areas, but obviously the larger pieces with a lot of climbing sometimes aren't as accessible for the kids who really need it. So that if you look at that
So
Harvey Clark,
is staying with what they have and adding.
all of that, and we're gonna add that. So, no, we had to replace one in Harvey Clark because it's aged out.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of at the tip of the triangle.
Okay.
We're gonna take that one, it's gonna go away. This is gonna replace that equipment, but it's gonna be closer to the school and the covered play area. So you come off the asphalt directly onto those rubber tiles.
Okay.
What's the life expectancy of these playgrounds?
The equipment itself is probably in, say, a 20-year lifespan. The rubber tile is forever. That rubber tile is basically like,
So,
I would say compared to like if you buried a car tire in the ground, it's not going anywhere.
so this will be there won't be any wood chips under the swings or any of that?
No.
Just under the area you're seeing here. So the rest of Harvey Clark will still be chips.
The original.
It's, these tiles are quite expensive, so we're only doing about 3,000 square feet of tile. So even at Dilly,
Mhm.
we're gonna put tile underneath the play area, but it'll still connect
Oh, okay.
to Bark away.
Okay,
It's,
and that'll be true at Gales Creek too.
No.
there's no tile going in at Gales Creek,
And same at the district office.
Not
and
at the
then not at the
district
district office.
What was
um,
happening with that one?
It's,
It just aged out.
I don't wanna,
No.
so the
But we're
installer
replacing
who we don't wanna
That's what I
work with
mean.
anymore,
Okay,
Where's that one?
just to make you just feel,
I
his,
feel better.
his mom died over the
Oh, I'm
weekend.
sorry.
And so he won't be with us anymore because of that. So we have to get somebody else to come in. So there's a slight delay now. They were supposed to come straight over and start this week at the DO. And
Yeah,
they-
that's right, because it's
they
been down
can't.
for a while, and that's why I was like, when is it
Yeah.
coming? When is it coming? But
So,
Is that it?
no, it's Paul. So the guy out of Seattle that was filling in. So,
So Eileen, so at the district office, the playground structure will go where the current one is?
Yep.
Okay.
there
yeah,
is,
okay.
that's gone though.
it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
It just has a fence. I'm like, what are we
Yeah.
fencing?
Yeah.
The nothingness.
Yeah.
Well, the
Just don't go
equipment-
here.
I found out today the equipment is there. We
I was
dug
down,
it
I
out
was like, I'm glad
of
they
Gales
fenced
Creek
in,
and
there's
brought it
nothing
over. So
there.
now we just need them to come and put it in. So that should hopefully start here. I'm hoping by the end of the week, just because the weather was good this week, but they have to find a new installer now. Because, well, for multiple reasons why
Yeah.
that gentleman won't be
That's
coming
good.
back
That's
to be
good.
with us.
So as an aside, we're still looking at that one area of the of the park there for maybe lots for the Viking house at the district office, or?
That's outside of bond scope, but we are investigating any options for future Viking House lots, to help bridge a gap until we can secure a larger piece of property. Yes.
Okay. Just wondering, I was advocating for, I was advocating.
We're looking at all options right now.
I'm advocating.
She's talking to like real estate agents.
Hey, if you can find lands for Viking houses,
Does it have to
I'm
be in Forest Grove?
interested, huh?
Does it have to be in Forest Grove?
The closer to the high school, the better, because the loss of instructional time to travel. But at this point,
Yeah.
I'm looking at a 3-acre lot right now, but in order, the purchase time plus the development time, we still have a gap. And that's if we can secure those 3 acres.
Okay.
We have a gap.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll keep talking, keep asking.
Okay.
Please donate your land. I'll ask them to donate.
That's what she said. I was
We'll-
like, dude, you're
we'll
not even
pay for
asking to
it,
pay
though.
for it. That's why I said, like, no, we'll pay for it. She goes, shh. We're trying to get donations first.
Well, they might be able to write it off on their taxes, maybe. Who knows?
Okay, pre-K?
Pre-K.
I think the only
Oh, I'm
pre-K
sorry.
we didn't touch on was at Fern
No, I passed it to
Hill,
you.
or, well, I guess in Joe Gale. But
Yeah.
the biggest one that we didn't talk about is Fern Hill Elementary will be doing a 4-classroom addition. So we're starting design on that. Yeah, you can kind of see there where that'll go off the east side. And yeah, so
And that's when?
that's,
So we've got them at Fern Hill, we'll get that addition, and then Dilly is the one up there that's getting the little
Oh, yeah.
blue square addition
Off
that
the
John
lot.
mentioned before.
Mhm.
And Harvey Clark is getting an addition to make room for it. We're then remodeling interior Echo Shaw and very lightly at Joe Gale. And so that'll be the 5 buildings that needed expansions in order to generate pre-K. We are hopeful that, no, not hopeful, they're all in design. The work should start next summer. Fern Hill will be
Yeah.
the longest of the projects, but there's no disruption to school because it's all outside.
But it will go through the school year.
It'll go
into
through the school year.
as
Yeah.
will Dilly.
Overlap. Yeah.
And
Dilly and Harvey Clark.
Harvey
Well,
Clark.
Harvey Clark's already slated for kind of 2 summers, so.
yeah, and I didn't
We'll see
really
how that
mention it, but
goes.
Harvey Clark, the thought now is that we do most of the interior work this summer with the gym being the second summer. But that addition off the back would kind of go through the year, through the school year. Okay,
Fire systems. So we've already done well, I always call it the DO, central admin is finished. Dilly got a brand new fire alarm, and these are now, so when we first looked at doing fire alarms with the budget money that we had, it was gonna be some maybe just repairs or making sure they all worked. Nothing, well, maybe not nothing. Here was voice evac, and maybe the high school is, I don't know, no, the high school isn't. Tom McCall might be. So, and Joseph Gale perhaps. So we knew that we needed to bring them up to code. So Eileen, I should say, made the astute decision to say, well, big part of this bond was safety and security, and then bringing all of our fire alarms up to code. So we did an RP, we hired GD Manchester, and actually our pricing started coming in really under budget at what we had in the bond for these. Like, for instance, I think Dilly, we had 170, it was 100. The district office, we had like 130, it was under 100. Same thing at Gales Creek. So we've been slowly saving up money, except it's all going to get poured into your high school, because to do a full voice evac there, it's probably going to be slightly more than the budget. But the good news is financially, we're seemingly breaking even on all of these. So we've done 2. We're currently crawling around the attics of Gales Creek
Yeah, I know.
to put in the fire alarm there. So it's not just a panel,
Looking
it's
for
a
cookies.
whole brand new voice evac system, which means it talks to you and tells you to leave.
The other thing we're working with the contractor on is the voice evac, it being bilingual.
Mm,
So
yep.
that is a new change that
Oh,
we're
that's
trying
good.
to make sure happens for all future
Yep.
fire system
Yeah.
improvements.
You can record anything you want, really.
Mhm.
It's anything. I've had some fun or thoughts with what you can have the fire alarm.
get out of
Real
here.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Adios.
Yeah.
I'll need her saying.
Um,
So yeah,
What was that?
Sake of time.
yep, keep going. Everything?
Let's highlight the rest of the projects. Is that okay with everybody?
Sure.
Okay. Safety and security, I think we skipped over a second. The cell and DAS is done, ADA buttons are done. Security trio, we have our largest buildings done now, so the high school and NANs are complete. So is Dilly and Gills Creek, and so we are working on quotes for those. We should be able to kick those off next summer to finish those off. Security film's done, exterior is in progress. Is that okay? Roofing, we've completed everything except for Harvey Clark. We did move the budget, so that is now 0 and done. HVAC projects are in process. We've gotten a lot done over the last year. We were able to use ESSER funds for a significant portion of them, so we're able to do more. That's why it's showing only 61% committed right now. So now we're just trying to work through all of those. Technology projects, classroom instructional technology.
So we have an RFP out currently. We're down to, I've selected 4 finalists. Tomorrow they turn in, or Friday, a proposal for the cost of this building, and then Enrique will select from those 4. We're planning to have all the work done for the technology upgrades by the end of next summer. And that's going into every room and putting in a new whiteboard projector and enhanced audio for the teachers to have the little microphones so through the speakers so all the kids can hear. That'll be district-wide. We're hitting 250 classrooms or something like that. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, and that work will start in February, and we'll do it nights and weekends just to keep on schedule.
Dark fiber, we are still waiting on our permit with the city of Cornelius. So that one's on hold, but we still believe we can get our commitment to have it done by next summer. So soon we will have to start getting a little creative on the schedule if we don't get our permit soon. Then if we look at the other ones, the Taylor Way, Oak Grove, Gills Creek,
Tom McCall,
the rest of them are pretty much smaller deferred maintenance projects. Some of them are on hold, but there isn't a ton of activities going on there. Sorry. So if you guys wanted to take a second and look at those, I'd be happy to answer any questions on them. To close out tonight, do you guys have any questions for us? How are we doing on the bond? What are you guys hearing from the community? Do we need to do anything differently?
less swearing,
No smoking.
no smoking.
No, I've heard excitement. I mean, I've been around, obviously, the track stuff a lot more than anything else. And everybody that sees what's going on at Cornelius. But nothing but good things as far as improvements.
Yeah, and I've been in a number of the schools. I've been in Dilly and mixed grade there. I'm in Gales Creek, so I see what's going on there. Cornelius staff is really excited, really excited. I would have one little request, okay? If you could, it would be really nice to have a little library put at Cornelius. There's one at Echo Shaw, there's one at Fern Hill, there's one out at Gales Creek. But it would be really nice.
Is this the little, you're talking about the
Yeah, but
little,
we make it a little bit
community
bigger.
library?
The neighborhood,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah,
post
and-
in like a
and
little house.
It's free.
I thought you meant, I'm like.
You're like,
not
dude,
putting
there's a
li-
library.
I was like,
Yeah,
I know, you're like,
big-
real
big
confused.
I was
library.
looking at John like.
Listen,
we
one
should
library
really
is not
put a-
enough for
we
me.
should really put
They're
a
actually
library
called
in that
little
building.
libraries.
Yeah, well,
And one library is
No, I
not
know what
enough.
you're talking about.
Well,
the
and
And then she's like, there needs to be one at Echo Shaw. I was like, man, there's a library there.
they're just outside.
The little,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's
and
okay, I
then
know what you're talking
people,
about now.
I feed them,
Yeah, yeah.
but,
Yeah. We do too, yeah.
I got my trunk, I have a whole room full of books.
Yeah.
But it's free, so kids can go and, at Gales Creek, we have adults in that, but I just think it would be really nice it's a nice community thing if you could
Mhm.
think about it. I'll talk to Angela to break you around. Do
Okay,
it.
yeah. Sounds good.
We'll put that on the list of
Yeah,
needs
it
or
wouldn't cost
things to
much.
look into.
Yeah, but it would be really a nice addition. You know, and it's free for kids. Kids can have books all summer long.
No, we get Malin involved to help us design it.
Yes.
Oh, you could build a little tiny replica of the building?
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'd be adorable.
Use the same
But a
materials.
little bit,
Yeah, every
a
tiny.
little bit, not real
Just a
little,
patch.
but a little bit bigger. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's great. I second it. I
Little replica of the
motion,
building.
second, do it.
It could be your
You like
mock-up.
to build
It
tiny.
could be your mock-up for all the little sightings and stuff. You need a little tiny mock-up. All
We
right, we gotta get on.
We
this.
do have the tour of the building, and the construction. The
Outside
next
too.
meeting is March, and it will be at Cornelius. We'll have you guys at the job trailer. And so we'll be sitting at a couple of small tables at the job trailer. They'll take us through. That one, we will actually do the tour first, and then we'll have our meeting because of daylight hours. So we need to be able to be out there during daylight, so.
We need
we'll
to have
spot it.
vests and all that kind of
Well,
stuff.
if you took your vests last time in hard hat, bring them back. Otherwise, we'll have extras for you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, did you bring them? You're gonna need them today.
I was like, well, did you?
I have
bring
one.
mine? 'Cause I'm smart and left it with you guys. It's like, I'm not packing in my car.
Oh. We adjourn the meeting?
Oh, do you want me to adjourn before we?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, meeting adjourned at 6:47.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I just need to stop this.
I do appreciate how fiscally savvy you've been with the fund.
Well, I think we're in a situation, I mean,
It's a weird situation.
it's a weird situation because we budgeted during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And everything
When
was super high.
everything was really high.
Can we do that every time?
Yeah. That's how
Yes.
pandemic everything we do.
We are in just a different setting than when
We wait 14 years, we'll probably have.
You still have to be savvy